Gentlemen, open your text, page 21 of the introduction. Mr. Perry, will you read the opening paragraph of the preface entitled Understanding Poetry? Excrement. That's what I think of Mr. J. Evans Pritchard.
Hello everybody. In today's video, I want to talk about student ranking systems. This video clip from my all-time favorite movie, Dead Poet Society, showed that Mr. Keating understood it's not a good thing to always rank something on a numerical rating chart. If you remember, not too long ago, I talked about in averages and outliers, teacher rankings, and that sort of thing. When you look at students, you should see them as people. You should not see them as a unit of a whole, because once you have a set group that you're observing, you can have one student in a set of 10, which means that every person in there has a smaller number that they can be ranked as. If you are the last of 10, you're down to the 10th percentile. If you are the if you are the middle of the group, you're at the 50th percentile. But looking at a larger selection of students, graduating class of 500, like I was pretty much in that large of a group, your ranking system means that you could be with a bunch of students who are at the top of their class. And just being within 1 percentile can really be the deciding factor if a college or university is going to take you. Let me rewind and let's talk about other rating systems that are happening this time of year. With teachers, you have grades on academic content. That's midterms, finals, other tests. Almost the entire course is being graded. You also have the standardized tests coming up not too long from now, and you're teaching to that test, which I'll be talking about in another video. Look at students. They get to be doing some ranking too. In ranking universities for what you're going to apply for, how much are you going to spend on that university and on the application? How far are you willing to travel away from home? Because in-state universities and out-of-state universities, or private and public, all depend on the cost. The programs that the school offers. Do you want to go into education? Do you want to go into writing? Do you want to go into business? Do you want to go into engineering? What is offered? The extracurriculars. If you want to go into education, do they have an education club at the university that you're applying for? These are all things that students use to rank these schools. It may not be a numerical thing, with the exception of the money, of course, but these are more rating scales. In the article that I want to talk about today, Student Ranking System to End in Glastonbury, the board chairwoman, Susan Karp, mentioned that academics is their top priority, and they are not degrading the recognition of the work students do. So, my last points that I want to make are some personal choices of mine. Back when I was in 8th grade, a lot of personal things were happening in my home life. And because of the person that I am and the person that I was raised to be, I threw myself into my academic work, trying as hard as I could to keep all of that home drama out of my mind. My grades skyrocketed. The time that I spent at home was devoted to homework. the time that I spent at school was devoted to focusing in class and taking lunch breaks and mandatory study halls and studying, taking notes, reading content, doing whatever I could to focus my mind. But that's me. That's how I was raised. What about these other students who are raised to focus on these negatives, to become so ingrained in what is going on that they can't see past their own noses? That means that their emotions are going to blow up at a moment's notice, that their academics are going to fail because they're not focusing, because the blow-ups lead them to be sent out to the office or suspended or expelled, detentions, all of this. And because of this, they could be joining gangs. It's a skyrocket. It's a Katamari effect. So, my advice to teachers is agree with Glastonbury that we cannot use our rating scales the way that we have in the past. I felt miserable about myself that I wasn't in the top 5th percentile, and that made me so upset when I had the goals of being valedictorian. Treat your students as individuals, as worthwhile people, and watch the very final clip of this video, again from Dead Poet Society. See what I mean?
You don't read and write poetry because it's cute. We read and write poetry because we are members of the human race, and the human race is filled with passion. Medicine, law, business, engineering, these are noble pursuits and necessary to sustain life. But poetry, beauty, romance, love, these are what we stay alive for. To quote from Whitman, "O me, O life of the questions of these recurring, of the endless trains of the faithless, of cities filled with the foolish. What good amid these, O me, O life? Answer that you are here, that life exists, and identity. That the powerful play goes on and you may contribute a verse. That the powerful play goes on and you may contribute a verse. What will your verse be?